This is Faisal, and welcome to Sci-Fi. In this video, we'll guide you through some key features on the Sci-Fi platform. From adding funds to making transfers, we'll cover everything you need to know to get started. So, let's jump right in. Sci-Fi is a B2B spend management platform licensed by the SAMA, Saudi Central Bank, and serving leading Saudi businesses in simplifying financial operations for them. So, let's take a quick tour on how can we help our customers simplify finances. For our first step, we'll get to how can we create a team budget. Creating a team budget is simple. There are two types of budgets you can set up depending on your needs, a virtual or a funded budget. To start creating a budget, please press on the team budget just here in the bottom left. Once you will do, you will find all of the budgets listings in that page. To create an additional team budget, please press on the top right corner, Create Team Budget. Once you do, you will see them two types. You can either set a virtual limit to monitor the budget without allocating actual funds, or you could create a funded budget. By that, you'll be allocating real funds to the team. For the purpose of this example, we'll choose a funded budget. For the first step, you would please need to create a name for your team budget, assign a manager, and define spending and time limits. If you're creating a funded budget, specify the budget amount you want to allocate from your primary account. In this case, we'd call this budget the marketing team, and we will assign whatever amount we would like to have. In this case, it's very clear that we have 43 riyals in the available balance. So what we can do is either initiate the budget amount that is either equal or less than the balance of the account. You would then choose a manager for the budget. In this case, we'll choose Atif. We have other sided options to select for your budget. Once you do that, once you initiate the name, you initiate the budget amount, and you also choose a manager for the budget, you can also feel free to select any kind of restrictions or security options, or even country options. We'd leave that. Once you do initiate a name, assign a budget amount, and also assign a manager to this budget, you can feel free to choose such one of these selections, such as category restrictions, security options, or even country options. We'd leave that for you to discover. Once you're done, please press on continue. You would then have the chance to select the specific users and employees for your budget. Once you do, before creating team budget, please review the information that you've stated. Once you're satisfied, please press on create team budget. By that, your team budget is successful. So now let's go to the next feature, how to create and manage cards. Let's now create and manage a card from your team. Whether it's a virtual or a physical card, the process is simple. Please, to create a card, go to card section on the top left section. Once you do, you'd see all of your cards listing in this page. To create a card, please press on your create card button. For this example, we will choose a virtual card. Once you do, please select the card holder. Once you do that, you have the availability and the option to connect the card to a budget. Also, you have the choice to select the card color and also label it under the name that you would like to call it. In this case, we'll just call it a subscriptions payments card. You also have the availability to define a spending limit and also define a specific expiry date. You have the choice as well to write notes for each card. Once you do that, and you make sure that every information here is the information that you want to have, please press on continue. You also can check in your own time these specific restrictions and options you can have. Such an example would be is you can restrict certain categories for this card. You can restrict not spending in food and beverages, for example. I would leave this for you to discover. Once that's happening, you can also see all of the information that you've selected, and you can choose to create the card. Once you do, you can go ahead and select Activate your card to set up your card and start spending. Going to our next feature is how to transfer to a beneficiary. Transferring funds is very simple. What you would have to do is please head on pressing on transfers on the payment, create a transfer, and please select the budget that you would want to transfer from. In this case, the marketing team. And then please go ahead and choose a beneficiary. In this case, Rahman. You can also add multiple beneficiaries. Once you do that, please add the number or the amount you would like to transfer. Once you do, you could also choose the purpose of the transfer. So this is done, please press on submit a request, and your request would be approved within the workflow. For our next feature is to how to view your account transactions. Viewing your account transactions is easy. Go to Dashboard and scroll down to see your account transaction sections. This gives you a real-time view of all of the expenses and transactions across your team. To view a specific transaction, what you'd have to do is just press on it. For example, we can choose to select the POS payment that happened under the Riyadh Metro. You press here, and you then get to see the certain details of the transaction. You can also see the owner of this transaction, and you can upload certain receipts to it. For our next feature is how to set up an approval policy. You can set up an automated approval policies within Sci-Fi based on your internal approval process for different request types. Such examples would be a card request, or a post-expense review, or any other example that your company follows. To set up an approval policy, please select on configuration. Once you do, please select approval policy. You would then see all of the current policies that is either available or not. To create a new policy, please press here. You would then get the chance to name the policy. In this case, we'll just name it Riyadh System Policy. You then have the choice to sustain or restrict this policy to certain budgets or to all. For this example, we'll just put all. You then have the availability to select the specific relevant request type to tailor the policy to the specific type. In this case, we'll just select all. You then have the choice to have a specific field requirement for certain transactions. We'll just skip this. You also have the chance to enable the checker for certain amounts for the approval policy. For example, put 200 riyals in this case, or to infinite. You can choose the person that should follow the approval policy, and you can just press on continue. Once you do that, review all of the policy details, and then press on create a policy. You can then view the policies under the policy, under the manage approval policy section.